We have lots of crazy conversations, but this time, you're invited. You're listening to your favorite mother-daughter duo, the Crozier Girls. Is any of the recording from the other one a thing?
No.
None of it worked?
No. We're starting over this morning.
Okay.
So, we're going to probably release this on Tuesday, which means we skipped last week. So, that's fine.
Which is fine. We'll just have skipped 1 week because then we can record in time for the next week. Yeah.
I mean, it's summer, so Crozier Girls has to take a vacation.
Yeah. Well, also, people don't realize, like, how much work it actually is to start a podcast. I feel like people joke all the time about, like, oh, we should start a podcast. It's so hard. Actually, if you want to do it well, it's hard. And you have to coordinate schedules, and there's technological difficulties, and you have to pay money for your intro song and, like, all this stuff. So
lots of technological issues, and it's hard to coordinate schedules when one of you is 6-hour time different from the other one.
Right. It's not harder. Just normal scheduling, like with your friend who lives in the same state as you. Like, this is crazy. So, like, when I texted you, or you texted me and you said, oh, I could do tomorrow morning. And I was like, well, I can't do tomorrow morning. I have to get my nails done at 9 a.m. Like, forgetting that obviously your tomorrow morning is my tomorrow afternoon. But I was like, no, I can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's hard. And so I'm on my phone today since, for our pod listeners, I don't know if I'm going to edit this out or not, but if I don't, for our pod listeners, we actually recorded this on Monday. Mm-hmm. On Monday, we recorded so that we could hopefully have it released on our regular Tuesday schedule. But I'm at the beach and I was trying to do it from my laptop. And we got the whole thing done and realized my audio had not been recording pretty much the whole time. So that's super frustrating. And then when that happens, it's like we don't want to record for several days. We have to come up with new content because
I don't want to say the same thing over again, which sucks because I feel like that was a good episode. Like, I was like, this is a good one.
I know. Because Caroline was on with us, and so it was fun. Yeah. But that's just, it's the life of a podcaster.
Mom, I don't know what's happening right now in my apartment, but the lighting is so good on me. Don't I look so pretty?
You do. You look so good. Your hair looks really pretty. It looks like you straightened it, but it has a little bit of curl.
No, my hair was curly, and then I put it in a ponytail, and I just took it out of a ponytail. So actually, it was kind of the reverse, but thank you. I'm glad it looks good.
It looks really pretty. Is your air condition keeping up with the heat there?
Yeah, it is. And sometimes I keep my windows open. I just had them open, but I just closed them because the street sounds are really loud and it would affect the podcast. But yeah, it is. And there's something about wearing a sweatshirt indoors in the summer that's like my favorite. Yeah, you're wearing one too. Because it's like, it's like hot outside, but the air conditioning is on. And so I'm cozy in my sweatshirt, even though it's like 80 degrees outside. So.
Right. Agree. I agree with that 100%. And, especially when you're at the beach, which we're at the beach this week, the boys are keeping it so cold in here, which is fine because, I brought a sweatshirt and I love it. So that's great, which is so funny because in the last pod episode, you talked about you and Libby and some of your trips and how for 5 days straight, y'all had no AC and you were sweating pretty much for 5 days straight. Mm-hmm. And I think it just goes to show like how spoiled we are as Americans that like, not only do we want our AC, but we want it so cold that we can wear sweatshirts inside in the summer.
Yeah. Like, I don't have to be wearing a sweatshirt right now. I could lower my AC and put an actual short sleeve shirt on, but I don't want to. So.
Right. That's hysterical. Well, there's been some stuff happening here this week, but before we get into that, I do think we got several, apparently the Crocs, Dad wearing his Crocs that was a big deal. We got a lot of comments, like Uncle David commented that he absolutely wears Crocs when he's doing yard work. And then one of our other male listeners just bashing your comment that men don't listen to this.
We have another sorry. I apologize.
Popular frequent listener, T. Swaim, And he commented to me that wearing Crocs as a dad is the coolest thing ever. And he said, especially if he had socks on for added protection, and if they were pulled up to his knees, that's like another layer of coolness. But he said ultimate coolness is if he's got socks pulled up to his knees with his Crocs, but the socks have stripes.
Yeah, that's a look right there.
I think we need to maybe look into getting Dad some socks with stripes for Father's Day.
It's the trend for all these men when they're doing yard work. What was it Caroline said? As long as the Crocs are in sport mode.
Sport mode. She did. That was so funny. Well, do you just want to give us, like, is there anything you want to talk about from your trip with Libby? Any highlights?
Yeah, I guess we need to talk about the webcam. And not everyone saw this. Because I posted it on my close friends story on Instagram, so not everybody saw. But my dad found me on a live webcam in Krakow, Poland. If you didn't know, there are random like live webcam streams in like all over the world. You can just find them. I don't know how he finds them, but he does. And he was like, Rebekah, there's one in this square. I see that you're close by. You should walk up to it. And so me and Libby walked up to the webcam and we waved, and you guys were able to see us in the Old Town Square in Krakow.
In Krakow. Yeah, it was wild. It's wild. I mean, that's kind of a secret hobby of Dad's, is finding webcams in crazy places. He's been doing this for years. Like if we go on vacation somewhere and he sees one, then he kind of gets obsessed with watching it, even after we're back home. He's like, hey, look at this webcam from Salty Dog Cafe in Hilton Head. Hey, look at this webcam from Rovine when we were visiting Rebekah in Croatia. So exaggerating. He's in the room. He says I'm exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating.
No, you're literally not exaggerating.
So I wasn't surprised at all when I got the text, hey, pull up this webcam. Rebekah and Libby are about to walk in front of it.
I got lots of responses from my friends. So
yes,
if you didn't see the webcam footage and you want to, send me a text. We'll send it to you.
Or maybe you'll put it on Crozier Girls.
Yeah, we'll post it on the Instagram. So if you don't follow our Instagram or our Facebook accounts that are not linked, but I just double post. Because I can't figure that out anymore. I'm so over social media. I hate social media. I hate having such a presence on the internet that people want to keep up with me. Anyways, it's just so hard to be in the spotlight. The celebrity life is really, really hard.
The lies we tell ourselves. Oh boy.
Anyways, I'll post it on the Instagram and the Facebook. So if you don't follow us, you should.
Yes, and actually, we're gonna have some good. Rebekah's really good about posting a few pictures that kind of go with what we talk about over the week if we have them. And so we're gonna have some good ones this week. We're gonna have some good pictures. So just cluing everybody in. Go to our Facebook, go to our Instagram, and check out the Crozier Girls pages, and you will see some images of what we talk about. So yeah, you could definitely post that webcam footage. That was kind of fun and cool to see you walking around another country. It was a little creepy, honestly.
Well, yeah, it's creepy that those are just everywhere. There are live webcams watching you wherever you go. Everyone is watching. It's just kind of scary.
Yeah. So anyway, wear a disguise.
Just be careful and wise about what you do in public. Because there's probably a recording of it somewhere.
Absolutely. 100%. Be careful and wise about what you do all the time, Rebekah.
True. Yeah, true.
Whether you're in public or not.
Very
what is the definition? What is the definition of integrity? It's what you do when no one is watching. So
I remember you telling me that I did something bad when I was a kid, and you I think I lied about something, or I was well, no one knew because I was just by myself. And I remember you vividly saying that. We were in your bathroom and you told me that for the first time. And I have a memory. I don't remember what I did, but I remember you saying integrity is what you do when no one else is watching. So
it's true.
I learned my lesson.
Okay. So Rebekah, I've got to tell you some stories of what has been while we were at the beach. I really wish you were here because, oh my gosh, it would be hilarious. So first of all, we are staying in this little beach town called Pompano Beach. It's about 45 minutes north of Miami. It's really close to Boca Raton, Delray Beach on the Atlantic in Florida. My sweet friend Carrie from high school and her husband Lance have a condo on the Intercoastal Waterway, and they are so kind and let us come stay for the week, so that's where we are. So about halfway through the week, Micah gets this idea that he wants to shark fish. So most of the week, he has been obsessed with like figuring out what kind of equipment do I need? How strong of a line do I need? What kind of bait do I need? All these crazy random things. And spending a lot of money. They've been going to bait shops literally every day, him and Dad, getting all this stuff that is needed. So the first adventure of this was that Lance has a couple of rod and reels here. And so that's kind of what started it all, was him and McKinney went out on the dock here at the Intercoastal. Lance has a boat slip, and they went out and fished off of that one night. And they caught a bunch of fish, like random, weird, crazy fish. I'll have to send you a picture of one of the things Micah caught. I don't even know what it is, but it's creepy. Anyway, and so that's where Micah got the idea of sharkfish. So they go to the bait and tackle, they buy all this stuff, and he starts taking all the line off the reel to put the strong line on and realize the reel's not oscillating. So apparently it's a big deal when you put line on, the reel's supposed to go up and down.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge. So if it doesn't do that, it's a problem. So the next morning, Dad and I get up and we're like driving all these different bait and tackle shops trying to get this reel fixed. So we finally find one, Carl's Bait and Tackle in Fort Lauderdale, and they're like, hey, we can fix it, but we're not going to be able to get it done this week because we don't have the parts. And so I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. We're just here for the week and our son really wants to catch a shark. At which point the guy at Carl's Bait and Tackle said, you're going to catch a shark from this reel? And we were like, yeah, exactly. We were like, well, he was going to try. So long story short, the sweet people at Carl's Bait and Tackle find us a reel to borrow.
Oh, love them.
So I know, so sweet. So we leave Lance's reel there for them to fix, and we head back to Pompano with a borrowed reel that should be able to catch a shark. So we get back. Micah's still asleep. He's so excited. So we get everything put together. And also, you would not believe this fish that they have bought that's been in the freezer to use for bait.
Yeah, I saw that picture of it. That's insane. That's
the bait.
Yeah, that's insane. It's huge.
Yeah. And it's been in the freezer, which is unbelievable to me, in a bag.
Disgusting.
So we'll put a picture of that on the Crozier Girls social media. So they get it all set up, and we're gonna do this thing Wednesday night. Well, we get back to the condo after dinner, and they pull this giant fish out of the freezer, and they get out a kitchen knife. And I was like, guys, that kitchen knife is not going to cut this frozen giant fish. So then they had to go to Walmart and buy some kind of special knife. And I mean, it's just been, Rebekah, one thing after another. So we get everything gathered. We get down to the beach. It's almost dark. They start trying to cut this fish, even with the good knife. Of course, it's slow going. They're cutting it on the boogie board, which is now going to be trash because it's got blood fish stains nasty all over it. Anyway, they finally get the head of the fish cut off, which is what they're going to use for the bait. Oh, and for the pod listeners, this is how this is going to work. They have rigged up some mechanism to hook the line to Dad's drone. They're going to fly the drone out, like, I don't know, 300 yards over the ocean, far enough out, drop the bait and the line, and then Dad's going to bring his drone back, and then they wait, right, for the shark to grab the fish head. Oh, so we tried about 3 times Wednesday night, and it was just too windy. they couldn't get the bait far enough out. It kept dropping off the drone too soon. So we're like, okay. So the next morning they get up and go out, and they tried it Thursday morning several times, and they dropped it great, but there's just too much seaweed, kept bogging the line down. Anyway, they went out again this morning, and I wish I could say there's like really happy ending to the story, but there's not. There's no shark has been caught. And the boys have to take the borrowed reel back. That's been an adventure. I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot more shark fishing from now on when we go on vacation, because Micah...
He's now licensed. He's a licensed shark fisher now.
Yeah, he did have to take a class and get a license, but I don't know how long. It's probably only for a year. So anyway, if anybody has any tips on how to catch a shark, let me know. Let us know.
I feel like shark fishing should be called something else, because you're fishing, but you're not to fish. Like, you're to get a shark. You know what I mean? Like, there should be another name for it. It's like saying, I don't know. You know? You know what I'm saying?
The name for it is shark fishing. That's the name for it.
No, I know, but
it's not just fishing, but it's shark fishing. It's not just shopping. If you go in for a wedding dress, you're not just shopping. You're what? Dress shopping.
Yeah, but the verb shopping doesn't have another word in it that has to do with what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like fishing, you're catching fish.
But shopping, you're at a shop.
This conversation makes no sense. Okay, anyways, comment below what you think shark fishing should be called. LOL.
Oh man, these are our best conversations. Like it says in our show description, nonsensical banter, and that, folks, is what we mean.
Yep.
Shark fishing. Let us know your best creative names for the sport of shark fishing.
You see what I mean, though, Mom? Like, is it fishing if you're not catching fish, like you're catching a shark? But I guess a shark is a
fish. Right, exactly.
I feel like expert fishermen would be like, no, like, they're different. You can't call a shark a fish. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Anyways.
So, anyway, we did not get a shark. It's sad into that, non-climactic story. But it was something interesting that we tried and fun this week, so that's good. Shout out to Carl's Bait and Tackle in Fort Lauderdale for the borrowed reel. It was really, really sweet of them.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
Okay. The next thing I need to tell you is, so yesterday, it was Wednesday while we were out shark fishing of sharks.
Shopping for sharks.
Shopping for sharks. While the three of us were out doing that, McKinney and Caroline had gone to Miami for like a date day, and they had just gotten back, and so we were heading back to the condo. McKinney, he's kind of clumsy, which we know this about him. So there's an ottoman in the living room that he has tripped over several times. Well, this time he trips over it. He falls into a custom-made driftwood table that has a glass top on it. The glass top is not attached. It slides and hits the floor just before McKinney can catch it. And a giant chunk breaks off the corner.
Oh.
So McKinney's, now we've got this glass tabletop that's broken, and I was low-key freaking out. I wasn't high-key freaking out, but I was like, I cannot believe this. Oh my goodness. But McKinney is, in his ingenuity, he found a small, family-owned custom glass shop that's 25 minutes from here. Thursday morning, he gets up, takes the piece of broken glass to the custom family-owned glass shop. And, of course, they can make it for him. So,
of course, everything works out for McKinney perfectly well. That's,
yes, exactly. I know. It's true. I don't know how, but it always does. He always lands on his feet like a cat. So they're making the piece of glass. So once we had a solution, then I texted Carrie a picture of the table, told her what happened, and told her the solution. I was like, I'm so sorry about this. And of course she was like, oh my gosh, is McKinney okay? I'm so sorry that happened. Like, don't you dare apologize. McKinney is totally fine because, like we just said, McKinney always lands on his feet. And anyway, so it's going to take about 2 weeks. So the next time they're down here, they'll have to go pick it up from the glass shop. But that's the other crazy thing that's happened this week.
Poor Carrie and Lance. Us Crozier kids are always messing up things they own. Remember when I crashed their golf cart into that random person's mailbox when I was like 10 years old? And since then, anytime McKinney is riding in my car with me, and granted, I now have a driver's license and have been driving actual vehicles for like 7 years now. He brings that up every single time. Longer than McKinney, he brings that up every single time. He's like, well, Rebekah, I'm a better driver than you because you crashed that golf cart.
Right. And rest assured that has been brought up here because there's a golf cart here we've been driving. So he has definitely brought that up here several times. And also, I feel like we should point out to our pod listeners that while, yes, you crashed the golf cart, there's only one child in our family that has actually totaled a vehicle. And it was not you.
So true. Wait, should we tell the story of Micah with the voice memo? That's like my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite like sibling thing ever. I'm home for the summer. McKinney's driving on 211 by like the Chick-fil-A in Brazelton, if anyone knows. And Mom gets a call from McKinney and he's basically like, Mom, like I crashed the car, I totaled it, whatever. So she's like rushing out of the house to to go help.
Time out. That's not exactly how that happened. Do you remember?
Wait, no, I don't remember. Oh my gosh, wait, yes, I do. I was worried about your keychain.
I was so worried about my keychain.
Wait, this is the best story ever for so many reasons. Okay, Mom can't even tell the story. Mom and I had been to Hobby Lobby, like maybe the day before this or a few days before, and she bought this really cute keychain for her keys, but it wasn't like anything super special. Like it was cute, but like I mean, she maybe spent like $3 on it or something, and she could not find this keychain anywhere. Like I don't know, this was some kind of breaking point for you that week. Like she was freaking out about this keychain. So McKinney called her, having just totaled his car, and Mom's only thought is about this keychain. She's like, McKinney, do you know where my keychain is? And like, would not let him get a word out for a whole minute. And he's trying to tell her mom, I just totaled the car. And she's like, where's the keychain?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just defend myself a little bit about this keychain. I had just gotten a new car and I needed a keyring to put it on because it was a little bit different from my other car where I didn't really need a keyring. And so I just bought this keychain and yeah, I couldn't find it in the bag. And the only thing I could think was like, did McKinney take it out? Did he do something with it? I don't know. So he calls and that was the top of mind. So I was like, McKinney, where is the keychain? What have you done with my keychain? He was like, what? What keychain are you talking about? I'm like, buddy, that keychain I just bought. Have you seen it? Do you know where it is? And he literally has just totaled his car, and I don't know.
He's like on the side of the road, and Mom is just like, hey, the keychain.
Oh, goodness. So anyway, he finally says, I just wrecked my car. I'm okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, where are you? So pick up your story. I rushed out of the house.
Yeah, so Mom rushes out of the house. Micah runs into my room. I'm in my room, door open. Micah runs in, and he goes, Rebekah, you're not going to believe what I have. He's like, I remember this conversation from, gosh, I don't know how long ago before that, at least a year before that or something. And I remember when this conversation happened, we were all in the car together and we were talking about something, probably talking about how terrible of a driver I am. And McKinney said, I promise I will never wreck my car ever, or something like that.
And I think what he said was, I'll never have an accident that's my fault.
Yeah, that's right. I'll never have an accident that's my fault, which is even crazier thing to say than I'll never total my car, because everyone has accidents that are their fault.
Right.
Like literally everyone. So Micah recorded this on his phone. So this day that McKinney wrecked his car, Micah rushes into my room and he's like, Rebekah, I got this on like voice recording. And he plays it to me and we're dying laughing. He's like, I knew that like one day McKinney would get in an accident, and now I have this to like prove that him wrong, or I don't remember what else he said, but
now let me just point out that at this point, you two have no idea if your brother's hurt.
No,
Are we headed to the hospital?
No,
and y'all are just dying laughing at his expense.
No, it was the
I'm
funniest
freaking
thing
out
ever.
over my keychain. Poor McKinney's
on the side of the road on 211, which is a busy highway. So we still laugh about that, how Micah had the foresight to know that my brother is saying something that is definitely going to come to pass. And he's being prideful right now and saying that this will never, ever happen to him. And so I'm going to record this.
Right.
And
it's going to come back to bite him.
Yes.
And it did.
Yep.
And it did. So anyway, yeah. So I think all that started with you wrecking the golf cart into Carrie and Lance's neighbor's mailbox at their house.
When I was like 10 years old. So it's a little bit different.
I think you were like 13, but still.
Okay, I don't know.
So, yeah, we've laughed about that this week, so it's funny.
I knew you guys would have. I knew.
But Rebekah, the craziest thing I have to tell you about this trip is yesterday. Oh my gosh. This is the wildest story. So we're on the beach, and you know how I have this problem with watching people's interactions and then basically creating whole storylines about their life, right? Mm-hmm. Just by watching them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I'm on the beach.
By the way, that's a perfectly normal thing to do. I don't think that's a problem.
Okay, good. Well, I do it all the time. I definitely eavesdrop in people's conversations when we're out to dinner. If you're sitting near me, just know that I'm listening. Just kidding. Not really.
I was going to say, not really kidding, but you know, that's something that we can work on.
So Dad and I go to the beach. McKinney and Caroline and Micah are still back here at the condo, like getting ready, putting on sunscreen, whatever they're doing. So I'm sitting there watching this dad, and it's kind of a younger guy, and then his son, and their interactions. And at first it was like, oh, this is so sweet. This is like such an attentive dad that they're playing in the ocean. They're doing all this stuff. They're trying to fly a kite. The kid has on a shirt that says best son ever.
So wholesome.
And so I was like, okay, this is really sweet. Well, I'd been watching them for about an hour. McKinney texts and is like, okay, Dad, come back and get us, because we've been taking the golf cart to the beach. So they get to the beach, and I tell Caroline, I'm like, something's not right with this guy.
Why?
So as I watched more, the more it played out, he was like very intense with everything. He was just nonstop talking in his son's face, not yelling, but getting really close to him and just like talking very intensely, like nonstop, like teaching him stuff. It's so hard to describe, but here's where it got weird. He would go into the ocean and they would be wrestling, and the dad would just push him over. He's pushing him over, or like knocking his feet out from underneath him.
Oh my gosh. How old is this kid?
The kid's probably 9 years old. And it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. Something about their interactions is just giving me vibes of this guy is a narcissist. And he's the kind of guy that wants everybody to think he's a really good dad, but really he's only doing it for what he can get out of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, I'm not feeling good about it. So everybody else gets down to the beach, and I say, Caroline, hey, you see that dad and son over there? Like, I don't have a good feeling about what's happening. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, just watch. And so funny enough, Caroline has just come into the room. So I'm going to let her tell you what she begins to observe.
Okay. So at first I'm like, oh, well, hey, podcast. But anyways, I'll get into the story.
Hey, guys, this is Caroline, McKinney's girlfriend. She's awesome. We're so glad she's popping in. And anyway, she's going to pick up the story.
Hey, everyone. Okay. the story was crazy. So I get there, and at first me and McKinney are like looking at this guy, we're like, oh, this is kind of sweet, like he's playing with his son. But like the longer I'm there, he's like playing with him for a long time, almost to the point where like it's not kind of how a parent would behave. And he is like wrestling with him, trying to teach him how to like punch and fight, and this kid is not interested in it whatsoever. It's just really weird energy. He's being very obnoxious for everyone around to see. I feel like he's putting on a show for everyone, and it was just really weird.
Okay, let me stop because she's right. Rebekah, he was trying to basically teach the kid like fight moves in the ocean, not for a long time.
Yeah,
and he was like trying to show him like form and stuff, like, no, you need to do like this and this. I feel like the kid was like trying to engage because it was giving off vibes of like, okay, I know this is going to make my dad happy. It's going to keep him happy. So I'm just going to keep doing this. But it's like, you could almost tell that the kid just wanted to go play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he was like body slamming him on the ground too. Like it was not, I don't know, like he's being playful-ish, but like it was weird. But it gets weirder.
It gets so much weirder.
What?
So we're watching this for a long time, and then I'm like, all of the boys are in the water, and we're just up there observing, basically. And
we have our books in our hands like we're reading, but there's not much reading going on.
No. So I all of a sudden see this lady start talking to him because their kids are playing, and he's like, do you need sunscreen? Well, apparently she hadn't put sunscreen on her daughter, so he was offering it. And I just started noticing them talking and introducing each other to the, like, I'm like, okay. And then next thing I know, like he has this like tent on the beach.
The two adults.
Okay, the two adults, they didn't know each other.
They did not know each other. They introduced themselves to each other.
Okay.
They introduced themselves to each other. And all of a sudden, this woman goes and gets in the tent with the man who's being like the weird dad. And then this proceeds to like be a thing
for hours.
And we're just observing them, listening to conversations, seeing the way their kids are running up to them and talking to them. They're like leaving their kids with one adult and then running back and getting like alcohol or something. And like leaving them with this random person they just met.
This mom left her daughter with this strange man that she did not know and went back to her car for something. It was
a long time
weird.
too.
This was going on for hours.
It was crazy.
Crazy. I mean, and do we give a description of the people? Or is that going to be, no, we can't.
We should tell Rebekah though.
We could tell you privately. I will definitely edit this out. But the guy, he basically looked like Brian Laundrie.
Yes. He was bald.
Oh.
Red flag.
Oh, red flag.
So this guy was like short. He didn't have any hair. Kind of muscular with like a bunch of tattoos on. He had a hat on that he wouldn't take off for like the longest time. Dangling chain. Like he just looked the type, you know.
He looked like a narcissist. Also, Caroline has confessed to us that she does not trust bald men. So if you're listening and you're bald, with the exception of Uncle David, she did say with the exception of Uncle David, he was definitely giving Brian Laundrie vibes. So that's problematic.
Well, I don't like the way he was treating his kid, even more so than like the weird situation with the woman.
No, and like here's what would happen. He would like push the little boy down and then get him back up and be like, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's like he was saying I love you too much. And Caroline what'd you call it?
Love bombing.
Love bombing. I guess that's what the children call it these days, but
it's a Gen Z therapy term.
Gen Z therapy term. There you go. But what it was to me was like he was trying to say it so much so maybe the kid would believe it because his actions don't show it. You know what I mean?
Like overcompensating.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Caroline goes, dude, when we went to the beach, my parents would play with me for like 5 minutes and then they were like, I gotta sit down.
Yeah. No, that's not happening.
As a matter of fact, at first McKinney was like, maybe it's an older brother. And I was like, well, why is he wearing a shirt that says best son ever? And then McKinney was like, well, maybe it's a fun uncle and it's his sister's kid and she bought him the shirt. But then at one point he made very clear to everyone else on the beach, my kid doesn't want to play with me. Why don't kids want to play with their parents? So clearly he was the dad.
Yeah,
He kept calling him dad
like
too.
this.
So it was weird.
It was weird. But this woman goes and gets in the tent with him and spends the rest of the day in the tent with him.
Like, what if they like met
I
online?
heard them. No.
Oh,
No, I heard them introduce themselves. Like, I saw the interaction of how they first started talking. At first, it was very nonchalant because some people were talking to him because he was making such a big scene. People were just saying stuff to him. He was responding to people, like putting on a show.
what he
And
wanted.
then,
He wanted
yeah,
people to talk to him.
yeah. And then I saw them first interact with each other about the sunscreen, and then she went over to him, and then they started like introducing each other. So
that's so weird.
It was wild. So anyway, it was just a wild situation. And, you know, Michael was like, I feel like we need to call Child Protective Services.
mm-hmm.
I feel bad for this kid. Anyway, it was really actually sad.
Yeah.
Like, I do feel bad for that little boy because I could just tell, like, you know, it's like his weekend, it's dad's weekend, and I don't know. I was kind of glad the little girl showed up, that they could play together so that the little boy didn't have to interact with his dad as much.
Yeah, I felt that way too. One of the funniest parts about the little girl, though, was she was really sassy to her mom. Like, and the son was not like this to the dad, but she was really sassy to her mom, and like she was arguing with her, telling her to move her stuff to the tent, everything, so that it'd be easier for them. But she decided that she was going to go up and act like she was going to throw sand all in the tent on her mom. And the mom's like, do not do that. Do not do that. And she grabs the sand and like throws it at her. And everyone was like, oh, it was crazy.
Then she walked away and the mom was like, I love you. And the little girl goes, I hate you. Yeah, so it was just so much dysfunction on the beach yesterday. So much dysfunction. I will have to say, we put our stuff this morning. Dad and Micah went down when they were shark fishing, put our stuff up in the exact same spot, and we really hope they're all there because it was hot entertainment for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was.
So weird.
It is crazy.
Observing people on the beach is so fun.
It's so fun. Mm-hmm. It's the best. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all the stories I had from our vacation updates. Do we have anything else we need to tell Rebekah about? Any stories you want to share from y'all's day in Miami?
Okay, so me and McKinney went to a lot of vintage stores in Miami. That's like what we decided to do. But it was really fun. We were kind of exploring. We saw a lot of different like sides of Miami and different parts. But I think I really found some places that only the locals know about, because we ended up at this vintage store and we were outside the building, and on the map it said it was there, and it is just not there. So we're like, what do we do? Like, it says it's there. We already paid for parking. Where do we go? Well, we decided to go in this like in between these buildings kind of, and we end up in this whole like huge area of a bunch of coffee shops and stores and a bunch of people. And we walk in and they're all kind of looking at us. And there's Buddhist music playing in like meditation spots and all this stuff. And we're like, where is this vintage store? These people are, they just compromised our spot. The tourists found out where we go. Like, what do we do? It was so funny. But me and McKinney asked this girl, like, where do we go? And she literally just looks at us and goes, come with me. And me and McKinney were like, we feel like we're in a movie where you just end up in a different country, and the person there is like, I was waiting for you, come with me. But then the vintage store was closed, so we just circled this place a couple times, and everyone's looking at us like, what are these two people doing? And so we just left. But that was crazy. I felt definitely like people were looking at us like, who are these people and how did they find us?
That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Good for you for finding all the local spots, though.
Anyway. But that's kind of been our week. What about you? Anything crazy happening in Zagreb? You're just getting caught up from your vacation?
Yep, just getting caught up from, nothing really exciting happening because I've just been like resting since I got back. Trying to go get my nails done, and I keep striking out. So that's why I'm going tomorrow at 9 a.m. on the dot.
Why are you striking out? The girl's not there?
No, it's just like there's only one place in Zagreb where you can just like walk in, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess I'm too lazy to like an appointment. So I because it's just like stressful because that just requires calling and like being like, do you speak English? And I don't know, it's just easier. This one place you can walk in and go, and I keep meaning to like go early in the morning because they open at 9 a.m. and I don't want to have to wait, because if it's just a walk-in place, like you probably have to wait. It's like a really small place. And I either keep sleeping in and then just being like, well, I'll just go tomorrow. So then I was going to go today. And I got up a little bit late, but I was like, surely if I get there at 9:30, there won't be a long line. I can, they open at 9. Surely, who are these people going to get their nails done at 9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
I get there at 9:35. There are 4 people ahead of me sitting down that aren't even getting their nails done yet. And they're all like, yeah, we're waiting in line. And I'm like, no, I would be sitting here for like 2 hours.
Right. That's because if that's the only place that takes walk-ins, that's why.
I know. So I'm going to get there at like 8:45 tomorrow and be waiting outside when they open the door.
Because you know how ridiculous this is, right? Just make an appointment. It's not that hard.
I know, but at this point I'm committed.
Okay, but in your defense, I sometimes don't like making appointments even in America because I'm scared of someone not understanding me. And I don't like calling people. I don't like doing that. So I see where you're coming from.
Well, I never make an appointment in America. Like I just go and because I feel like it's more normal to just like walk into a nail place. I know a lot of people do make appointments, but I feel like I usually go.
I make appointments just so I can get the people I want, because if you don't, then you might just get some random person that doesn't do as good a job.
Which I'm fine with. I don't really care, but
yeah, at a lot of places here, I've noticed that if you make an appointment, it doesn't even matter. There will be times I made an appointment and I still don't go till like 30 minutes later, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's true. A good point.
All right. Well, we probably need to wrap up because McKinney just came in and said, come on, guys, time to go to the beach. So anyway, okay, Caroline, you do listen to the podcast, so you know how we end every episode. And so we didn't get to ask Caroline because she wasn't here when we started our guest question. But just really quickly tell us what your thoughts are on paying for bathrooms, and then just really quickly, and then give us your high point and low point.
Okay. When it comes to paying for bathrooms, I've never had to pay before, but I have decided that if I ever have to go in a bathroom that a man has gone in, I will pay to not do that, because where I work, men go in the bathrooms before me. We share bathrooms, and I just absolutely hate that. They leave the toilet seat up. It grosses me out if I have to walk in right after a man. And I'm just like, no, I can't do this. So if I had to pay for that, then sure.
That's true. Good. So true.
Touch it.
That's a very good perspective and a very good point. So Caroline's take, it sounds like she would pay to avoid having to share a bathroom with a man. So very good.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, we haven't heard that perspective yet. So I really like it. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a high point and low point from the week?
My high point from the week has been being here at the beach. It's just been really fun. Honestly, the whole trip. My low point? I don't know. I don't really have one.
Maybe your dinner in Miami?
Maybe dinner in Miami. It wasn't exactly what me and McKinney expected. It was a little...
interesting.
It was expensive for some weird food, and it was small, but that's not even the problem. The food was just weird. The whole experience was weird. We can't go to nice restaurants together. We're just gonna stick to somewhere else. We got McDonald's after because it was.
Oh my god! Did y'all have reservations?
Yeah, so we did, but we got there and no one really spoke English. Anyways, we really felt like we were in a different country between walking into that one place and then this restaurant. No one speaks English, and we get 3 dishes to share, and the first one is potato chips with this shrimp sauce poured over it with caviar on it. And that one was just weird. And then we had this noodle pasta one, kind of, and that one was really good. And then we ordered a ribeye. We asked for medium rare. It was rare. That thing was crawling off the plate. It was disgusting. I cannot do this. McKinney ate most of it. I had some. And I like my meat kind of rare. I'm fine with that. I've grown up eating that, but it was too much for me. So, yeah, probably dinner.
It was funny hearing them tell the stories. And McKinney was like, the table's so small, and the plate was hanging off the table. And so when I would move my hand, I kept picking up the plate accidentally, and it would fall, and the lady at the table beside them kept jumping because she was scared of the noise of his plate falling. I don't know. I wish I could have been there because it sounds like it was hilarious. So anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're glad you were on with us, Caroline.
Thanks for joining.
And, all right. So I'll go next. My high point, actually, Rebekah, really good news. act surprised. I passed my real estate pre-licensing exam.
What? You did? Oh my gosh, Mom, I'm so shocked. I haven't heard this before.
No, that truly is my high point for the week, though, because I was so stressed. Because if you don't pass it you only get 2 times to pass the pre-licensing exam, and then you have to take the 75-hour class over again. And I was so nervous about it. But anyway, I did pass that. Now I just have to pass the state exam, and then I can start doing real estate, which will be so fun. So
that's so fun.
Anyway.
Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then I would say my low point was probably, I don't know, maybe McKinney breaking that table. That was very stressful for a few hours. But also the very first night Micah and Dad went to try to catch a shark was pretty stressful because I was just afraid the drone wasn't going to drop the bait and the drone was going to end up in the ocean. And I was just nervous. I don't know. I didn't love that first night, but anyway, nothing crazy, nothing major. So like we always say, pretty good weeks.
Yeah. Has Dad found any webcams at Pompano Beach?
Don't know. We'll have to ask him. We'll have to ask if he's found a webcam. I bet there is one downtown Pompano.
I'm surprised he has not looked yet.
I know. Well, he may have. He's not here for me to ask, but it's possible that he has. So I will definitely ask him. Okay. How about you? High point, low point?
I guess my high point since the last time we put out a podcast was just my trip with Libby. It was just really fun, and we have been planning this trip for a really, really long time. So it was just fun to have someone to travel with and to go to all those cool places. Yeah. I guess that'd be my high point.
That's fun.
And then my low point, I guess, like saying goodbye to Libby was sad.
Yeah.
But so I guess that was definitely a low point. I definitely cried on the bus ride back, but that's okay. But I have another friend coming tomorrow, so that's really exciting.
All right. Well, I love you, kid.
Love you too.
Have a good weekend. Tell Alexandra we said hello.
And will.
Caroline, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Okay, thanks for listening, everybody. Love you, babe.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.